I just watched the film. It's really enjoyable. I'm gonna begin by asking, because it is one of those films that when you're kind of watching it, it's quite tense and it's really unpredictable. I just wondered if you can recall your first time reading this script. Did you find when you were reading it, you were going on a kind of similar journey to that which the audience goes on when watching?
Yes, absolutely. It kept surprising me. I also was, you know, did not trust Derek in the beginning, and then spoiler, and then I was like, you know what, maybe he is a good guy. And then once again I went into like, no, I should have trusted my instincts. And then everything that happens on the cargo ship, I completely did not anticipate. Definitely, I think the film does a great job of that. It really it brought that suspense and unpredictability from the pages to the screen.
I mean, she's a great character to play. She's got so much resilience and courage and curiosity. I just wondered if it, when you play roles like this, do you ever find that you kind of take stuff from them? Do they ever rub off on you as yourself, I suppose?
Maybe, maybe because Rose is so resilient and she doesn't complain. Maybe some of the situations that we're in, or acting, you work 16 hours a day and you don't sleep, and we're in the DR. It was, sometimes harsh conditions, and out in the water. But I feel like because Rose is so resilient, maybe I didn't even see it that way. I kind of was able to take on the challenges easier. And maybe if my character was suffering the whole time, I would take that on with her. So I'm maybe that's something I took from her.
Does that ever across your career though? Do you ever find that if you play a role across a period of weeks in a TV show or in a movie, if there's really nice positive traits to them, do you find a few weeks later, do you ever in your normal life going, what would they do in this situation?
Oh, interesting. I mean, it's a weird cycle, because first I'm doing things to get into them, and then they're affecting me. Like, I remember on Cha Cha Real Smooth, my character is very talkative, and I'm someone that's pretty shy in the beginning. So I forced myself to talk to everybody on set all the time. I was like, you are not gonna stop socializing. And it put me in this place of like, oh, maybe I am extroverted. I'm not. Turns out I'm not. But I try to put myself in the mindset of an extroverted person who gains energy from um, interacting with people. So sometimes it's a cycle of you having to, and then honestly, on that movie, I became friends with a lot of people much faster than I would. So it's kind of like chicken or the egg.
I mean, you really fit into the role of a kind of action star, like a glove. Is it a genre and a style of role that you've been keen to explore since you started getting into this line of work?
I yeah. Being in an action movie was not something it wasn't a big goal of mine. And I was actually afraid of it, and I was just didn't think I had it in me. But I really enjoyed it. I surprised myself how much I enjoyed it, and how confident it made me feel, and empowered it made me feel, and how enjoyable it was for me. So definitely, I'm gonna be saying yes to more action roles in the future, I think,
Yeah.
after doing this one.
Is
Yeah.
it still quite important? Because I mean, you're still at such an early stage in your career. You're still so young. Is it very important, you think, to try and show lots of different sides to your craft and to your skill set? Do you think about that when trying to select roles? Do you think about kind of trying your hand at different types of roles in different genres to not just to show what you can do, but also to keep yourself kind of, I don't know, to entertain yourself as well, and to keep it kind of fresh and original?
I'm not looking so much at the role and making sure I have different roles. I'm more looking at the script, and I'm just looking at what is, a story I want to tell, and what is good writing and good dialogue and good filmmaking. So it just so happened to be that I actually have played a lot of different roles, but you know, it's not definitely not something I'm intentionally doing. It's just I'm just going with whatever story is speaking to me at the moment, and what I think will be a movie that I'll be proud of and can stand behind.
And obviously, I wanted to speak about spending so much time out on the water. How was it spending a lot of time on a boat? Did you get seasick at all?
Yes, I get seasick. Everyone was asking me before, "Did you get seasick?" I was like, "No, it's fine. I went on a speedboat once when I went shark cage diving, but the boat was going really fast, so I couldn't even tell. Um, but as soon as you're getting into the water and it starts bobbing, I first day I'm throwing my life up. I'm doing a take, stunt coordinator's holding my hair back, I'm running to do another take. I think they had to CG my face because it was green because I was so sick. Our script supervisor, she's like, "You look so bad. You look so bad." I'm like, "Okay, thanks." So after that, I took Dramamine every single day of filming. So once I realized that Dramamine works like a miracle pill, I was fine. But yeah, I did get seasick, and now I know that I get seasick.
Yeah, I found out the hard way as well. I was in Sri Lanka last year and I went on this kind of whale shark excursion thing. And they were like, "Oh, do you get seasick?" And I was like, "No, I'm cool. I'm fine. I've never had it before." And then they gave me this tablet and they said, "Well, if you do get seasick, just take this little pill." And I did start to get a bit seasick. And I took this tiny little pill and it made me so drowsy that I fell asleep and I missed dolphins, whale sharks, and everything.
Yeah,
yeah,
you can't win.
Yeah, I
You
know.
can't win.
No, well, I'm not. I won't. Yeah, I just got an excuse to go and do it again.
Yeah.
But I mean, just was it? So, did you shoot much? I know, the magic of the movie. So much is done in studios, in water tanks and stuff. Did you have the opportunity to shoot much out on the open water in this at all? And are you a keen sailor, or are you someone that enjoys being out at sea?
Yes, I love the ocean. I grew up in Israel, going to the beach every day. So I love the ocean. I sailed a little bit in our sailboat. Actually was, not when I think maybe when we were filming, but also in between takes, the captain let me drive the boat a little bit. We had a tank. Jodie Foster took it. There's only one tank in the Dominican Republic. She was shooting her movie at the same time because we had the tank, but we had to move our dates back, and hers were already set. So I blame Eric on that. Eric's dates, changed everything. So we had to shoot in the open water. But I'm really glad we did because I don't think I would have had the same performance if we were in a tank. It's just way easier to give a good performance when you're actually under those conditions.
It's funny, actually. I think I saw the Jodie Foster tank movie literally 2 days ago. Well, I saw a movie where she's in the water.
That's yeah, I know. That's how I know it is. I saw a trailer for it. I'm like, that's the movie she took the tank away from us.
I'm reading somewhere as well that you guys shot like pretty much chronologically on this. How rare is that in your career that you've had the opportunity to do it, and how helpful is it to help you get into the kind of character's mindset at any given opportunity?
Yeah, I've never shot a film chronologically like that. It's the most helpful thing that, it helped my performance so much. Especially my character takes such a sharp turn, and she has such a strong arc. So for me, as as an actor, as a person, I'm getting more mature, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting more confident. And I feel like we were also like losing people, Saffron, who played my mom, we got really close to. So like the day she rapped, that helped me as well. The fact that it was really like life imitating art.
And obviously, if you shot kind of chronologically, it meant that you would have ended much of your shoot with the wonderful Ray Liotta. I mean, you've obviously had this opportunity to work with him before he passed away. I mean, to call him a kind of icon of cinema, it almost feels like it's an understatement. How much does it mean to you that you had the opportunity to work with him on something?
I'm so honored. It's a huge honor that I got to work with him on his last film. My memory of him is of him just being the kindest, most selfless soul. And he, something that I want to keep reiterating is how much he gave me on my coverage. We did that scene all day long. We had so many setups. We shot half of the day, 6 hours. We're just shooting his side. We turned the camera on to me, and he's giving me more on my coverage. He really, really cared. He was so generous and so kind. And that's that he's taught me great lessons about being selfless and generous, and I'll keep that with me forever. And that's the memory I have of him.
Yeah. And in terms of like having kind of great memories and learning from great people, I mean, looking back now in your career, you've got some really great credits with some incredible names. I just wanted to ask about a couple that come to mind. I mean, firstly, obviously you did Lady Bird, and obviously since then Greta has gone on from just strength to strength. Could you tell when you were working with her that you were dealing with quite a sort of special filmmaker?
Of course. I mean, I loved Greta from before. I mean, I was obsessed with Frances Ha and Mistress America, and her movies are my comfort movies, and they just you know, she speaks to a lot of young women. She represents a lot of us in a way. She gives us a voice that we haven't had in the past, um, through her movies, and also as a filmmaker. For me, as an aspiring director, it she's also very empowering, because growing up, you see what a director is supposed to be. It's right. It's a man who's sitting on a set and yelling at everyone. And when you work with Greta, she's very gentle. She's very kind. Her sets are very, very peaceful. Um, Zero drama on her set, by the way, zero. Very, very loving environment. And you're like, oh, I can do a good job without having to be scary and demanding, you know. Um, so there's that. I think that she also changed my perspective on that,
Yeah.
on what a director is.
I think because I've done quite a bit of like EPK producing and kind of behind the scenes work, and I don't think you can understate just quite how important, like, just I know it sounds like a really cheesy thing to say, but just a really nice set is. Like,
It makes a difference. Also, my films that I'm the most proud of had the nicest sets as well. It's when there's a lot of drama and a lot of conflicting opinions, that's when things don't work out. But you need to, the good environment definitely affects the work, I think.
you mentioned about wanting to maybe step behind the lens yourself one day. Are you now, is that something that's come to you quite recently, having been in movies and stuff, and kind of thinking, oh, that's something I could try one day? Or is it an ambition that actually has been with you ever since you were kind of a child?
Always been with me. I've been writing and directing plays since I was a kid. As soon as I got an iPod Touch, I'm, you know, making movies with my brothers and editing. Like, that was my hobby, was writing and directing growing up, and making movies. That was always my hobby before I was even in this industry. Um, I directed a short. I've directed a few music videos. I'm writing a feature now. So that's really, it's a huge passion of mine. It's hard. Acting takes over that a lot, because it's, you know, it's just, I think the work for me in acting just comes easier. And it's takes up a lot of my time and space, but I'm trying to dedicate, during the strike, I'm trying to dedicate as much time as possible to finishing my feature that I'm writing.
Oh, and just before we do move on from the Greta chat, did you see Barbie? Everyone saw Barbie.
Of course, first I saw Barbie. I wore pink. I went with my friends. Of course, I saw it.
Yeah, even I went out in a pink t-shirt for that one. So my final question then, before I go, just one other thing I just wanted to ask about, just purely because I'm such a big fan, and I just want to hear what it's like to be in and around this person. But you obviously had a little role on Curb Your Enthusiasm. How does it work with Larry David's? Because I know he has so many people crop up at bits and bobs. It might only be 1 or 2 days on a shoot, I don't know. But how was it? Do you have memories of that experience?
I love that you brought that up. Me and my best friend are rewatching Curb right now. Um, every once in a while, I need to rewatch it. I need to rewatch the whole show. But yeah, that was my first job ever. I would say Larry David recognized something in me, I think. Um, it was a dream. I remember I got the job. I didn't even know what the show was, so we went to Blockbuster and rented out, you know, and they only had seasons 6 and 7, which in my opinion are my favorite seasons anyway. So I watched those seasons, like, you know, just back to back, binged it. It was and he was the coolest guy. I mean, he was so cool and nice, and brought me to the, you know, where now I'm blanking on the tent where you watch the monitor. I don't know why I'm blanking on what it's called. Anyway, he brought me to the tent with all the writers to sit and watch, which was nice. I'm like 13 and sitting with these huge writers, and I remember being like, "Oh, you're Alec Berg. Oh yeah, I see your name in the credits. Oh yeah, you're this for, you know." And Larry Charles directed it, and he directed Borat, which is one of my favorite movies. So it was just like a full circle moment.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I think I've always just called it the monitor tent.
Yeah, the monitor take. But now why am I blanking on what it's called? It's crazy. My brain's not working. I've slept 3 hours. It's crazy. I blinked on Superbad. Also, they asked me my favorite movies, but yeah.
That's a great film.
Oh, Video Village. Fuck.
Video
yeah.
Village. That is it. Yeah.
Why did I forget that word? Okay.
To be fair, the strikes.
In a minute. Strike. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to me today. It's been a real pleasure, and it's nice to hear any anecdote about working on Curb is good for me. But no,
yes.
I really enjoyed your performance in the movie. So best of luck with its release, and yeah, maybe we'll catch up again one day.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!